Hello everyone, my name is Velma Garcia, and I had the pleasure of meeting Dr. Garcia in the summer of 1996, and along with Dr. Jefferson. Howard Hughes, he gave me the opportunity as an undocumented student to have the opportunity of obtaining a higher learning education and to enjoy the life that I now have. And I know that without him, I wouldn't have any of what I have today. As a professional, from him, I learned, or I acquired, the ethics that I now carry in my own professional life. And I'm very proud to call myself a scientist and for having the mentors like Dr. Jefferson and Dr. Garcia. And I know I may speak for my brother, but the same goes for him. He gave him the same opportunity. And my only regret is that I don't think I was able to ever tell him that when he was alive. But I just hope he's proud of me, as proud as I was of him. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Miguel Gonzalez. I had the pleasure of working in Dr. Garcia's lab starting in 2000, and I worked there for about 2 years. I wish I had the chance to tell him thank you. For giving me the chance to work in the lab, even though I had a poor GPA. I barely had enough GPA to get into Cal State LA, let alone, apply to any of the programs. But he gave me the opportunity to volunteer and get experience and raise my GPA. And that I will always be thankful for. And he also provided the motivation for me to continue. Sorry. I mean, I've heard lots of stories about Dr. Garcia and his phrases, and over the years, I've encountered so many that I can't share them all, because at this point they've all jumbled together. But the few that have definitely stuck with me are, one he used to say, he's not the smartest guy, but he works hard. And and the other one was, it went back to his wife, and how I forget the exact details of the story, but the end result was he was getting a paper graded for a course that I believe his wife was TAing or instructing, and he received a B plus, but it had so many B pluses. It was like a B plus 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 plus, and that still just makes me happy to think about that. And anyway, he was a great inspiration and a great motivation for me. I was able to continue. I did increase my GPA. I went off to graduate school, got my PhD, and now I have a family, a 2-year-old daughter, another one on the way, and I really believe that it was because of his motivation and his compassion and his caring heart. And I guess I'll close with a story about one of the last experiences I had after leaving his lab. I told him I was leaving the lab because I wanted to get more experience in molecular biology in Dr. Grover's lab, which I then worked in after. But he has this very strong sense of loyalty, so he actually got very upset with me, and he started yelling at me and shouting about how I I was making this mistake, and not necessarily because your lab was bad or anything, but I really felt he was hurt because of how caring he was. And a couple days later, he found me and apologized and explained that he was just hurt because he cared. So I wish, just like Thelma said, I wish I had the opportunity to tell him how important he was. Thank you.
My name is Brenda Garcia. The first time I met Dr. Garcia, I was looking into the second general chemistry labs, and I saw his name, and one of my friends from high school actually has a similar name, and I thought it'd be really cool to get a class with the same name. So I enrolled in that class, and I realized how great he was, like that he cared so much about his students. Damn it. I saw how for class he would always bring us notes so that we wouldn't have to struggle with the lab book that was there, and he would always help us and encourage us. And then I found out that he had a research lab, and I found out that you could pet bunnies, so I thought that would be so much fun too. And I asked him if I could be in his lab, and he said yeah, and he asked me to email him, but then I forgot. And then eventually he spoke with one of my friends, and she asked me if I was still interested, and I said yeah, of course. So I emailed him right away, and I went to see one of his master students presenting, and ever since then it was just so much fun. And I remember too that in Gen Chem he would make fun of the way I write because I write really sloppy, and he would ask me if I want to be a doctor one day, and I said yes, and he said I could tell because of your writing. And then sometimes he would try to convince me to not, for the physician stuff. He would say that with his dad that he was such a great physician, but that nowadays you don't really see that much interaction and communications that you used to. And I still want to be a physician. I want to be an oncologist because cancer is just striking so many people. It got my mom too, but luckily she survived breast cancer. And I want to be the kind of doctor where he would be proud to say that she was a good doctor, not like the doctors nowadays. I want to be, no offense, I want to be a doctor that patients would like to talk to. And I am also planning on doing the American Cancer Society relay, and I will definitely light up a bag saying and remembering Dr. Garcia for everything he has done. Thank you.